Hi, and thanks for listening to Gossip with Celebrity, brought to you by Celebrity.com. This week we're talking about Epstein, Little Women, DiCaprio and Penn, and Miley and Liam. Our user question is about how much we work ahead, and we end with our weekly feature, the comments of the week. The stories and photos we talk about can be found at Celebrity.com/podcast under episode 26. Hi, I'm Katie, the founder and editor of Celebrity.com, and I write as Celebrity.
And I'm Chandra. I write as Kaiser Celebrity, and I'm the head writer for Celebrity. I screwed that up, but okay, whatever, it's fine.
Let's leave it. Just leave it. We could change it once in a while. All right. So this week was better than last week, but last week was just the worst.
Yeah, we had some interesting gossip this week, which was nice. And my mom's situation isn't as bad, even though she thinks it is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get her to just focus on her recovery and just be calm. And so that's what's going on with me.
I hear you on that. My ex-husband's going through something similar with his mom and dad, and it's hard for him. But I was going to talk about my vag because I haven't in a while.
All right.
I don't know how interesting it is for people. We were just trying to think about fun stuff, and we talked so much about our hair and nails last week. We're running out of external body parts. So I was having issues after I had that endometrial ablation in March. I've been going to physical therapy for that, and it really helps. So the exercises she gives me are just yoga stuff. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that when I got physical therapy for my neck, the exercises that they gave me for home were also yoga. So I'm thinking I can stop doing physical therapy, but that would mean I actually have to start doing yoga at home, and I never will.
Well, does your gym not offer free yoga classes?
It does, but I feel like an hour is so long to devote to that.
You'd rather just do something that you could do 20 minutes at home?
Yeah, and I like jumping around and being yelled at. I go to yoga and I'm like, okay, calm down, chill. And it works, but just motivating myself to go there is hard. So
No, I understand. I bought myself a yoga mat and it's still in the box. So
yeah,
it's been 3 months since I bought it and it's still in the box.
Sometimes I'll do it off YouTube, and they do have yoga for your specific issues. You just Google it and you can find a yoga for whatever you need. Yeah, I only do half of it and then I give up, or once every 2 weeks.
All right. Well, one of the big stories this week was, and it happened over the weekend, was that Jeffrey Epstein just died very suddenly and mysteriously in jail. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I guess I'm stuck with doing the intro. Okay, so he was a horrific, horrible person. He's facing 45 years, I think you wrote, for multiple human trafficking and sex trafficking of girls. Right. And he was really well connected, which is how he escaped prosecution for so long.
Yeah, and across various industries and lines, he was very politically well connected. He was well connected in academia. The New York Times did this long breakdown of how he would basically entice doctors and professors to come to his house, and he would promise them funding. And so that's how he was well connected in every area.
That's crazy to me. Although at the same time, those type of abusive personalities are very persuasive and manipulative and charismatic. Mm-hmm. So that makes sense. Plus, he had money and influence. We should mention he died by suicide. We didn't mention that.
Well, that's what's being investigated.
Yeah.
The coroner didn't even say that, oh, right, he definitely died by suicide. They don't know. They're still conducting the investigation.
Because he was on suicide watch. They lifted it right before he died, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's all very shady. I'm interested in the conspiracy, and I think a lot of people are. A lot of people across all political spectrums believe that something very mysterious and not right has happened here.
Well, imagine the dirt he had on everybody. He had a private island. All these rich, influential guys were his best friends. What dirt did he have on people? What was going to come out? So it's better for a lot of people if he's dead.
Right. And what I keep thinking about is everyone says that he kept blackmail information. What I want to know is how and what was the blackmail information. Like, were there videotapes? Were there, notes? Were there actual, like, physical, women who were abused girls who would now testify against, various powerful men?
I think you're right, probably on a bunch of counts. And one of those powerful men was Prince Andrew, a woman who's now 36 and is one of Epstein's victims, said in a lawsuit that she was sexually trafficked to Andrew when she was underage. And there's a picture of her with him. So he's implicated in this. And just this weekend, he went to church with Queen Elizabeth, his mom.
Uh-huh.
And just, I guess it's a public show of support from her. But he was also grinning like a total asshole in the photos that we saw of him.
And so was she. The Queen was grinning like an asshole, too.
Yeah.
And she's done this before. Like, the Queen has...
she's 93. I give her somewhat of a pass. Yes, she's very spry, but she's 93.
Yeah, but she's done it before. Just for Andrew.
Yeah.
And like in 2005, I think it was.
Okay.
That was like the first wave of controversy over Andrew's relationship with Epstein. And the Queen made these kind of moves to protect him as well, to do a public show of support. And back then she knew. We all knew.
I get it.
I don't give her a pass. I think that she's getting really bad advice. Either that or she's getting better advice and she's not taking it.
Or maybe it's her kid and she believes his lies. I don't know. So he left the country, Andrew left the country with Sarah Ferguson, Fergie, and they went on a private jet to Spain.
Yeah.
So nobody knows what's going to happen with this case, if we're going to get more information. I guess a lot of evidence may have been destroyed.
Yeah, I think we'll get more information, though.
Okay.
It's been such a stark contrast between how the British press and the British tabloids have treated this scandal just in the past week with Prince Andrew versus how they've been treating Meghan the entire time.
All Meghan is doing is existing.
Yeah.
Maybe she has some minor etiquette issues with British protocol.
Yeah, and not even that. I understand if the story was Meghan didn't agree with the seating arrangement at a state dinner. She should have followed protocol there.
We should tell people what we're talking about first.
We're talking about this story where she got hammered for maybe breaking protocol, quote unquote, at just dinners in the country, and there are seating charts or something, and she was like, no, I want to sit beside Harry.
Because she wants to sit next to her husband at some dinners. This is a big deal. So there's a lot of negative stories about Meghan in the Daily Mail and the Sun, where they're not picking up these stories about Andrew. The major press outlets are,
yeah, but
they're not as salacious about it because they're not that type of publication.
No, it's because the Queen is protecting him.
That too, yeah. Yeah.
The press doesn't want to get on the Queen's bad side, especially about her favorite son. And what is crystal clear to me is that the press is not afraid of pissing off the Queen if and when they write about Meghan negatively, which means that the Buckingham Palace people are basically giving it a go-ahead to bully Meghan publicly, but don't say a word about Andrew.
Remember when they posted that stuff about Kate getting Botox and that was really swiftly denied, but then all these negative stories about Meghan not letting people pet her dogs and stuff like that? Nobody says anything about that.
Right.
Yeah. Now I see why you're saying the Queen is smiling like a jerk too, and she is. And...
Yep.
Oh, this whole story sucks.
We can change the subject.
Okay, I mean, this you just had a Freudian slip there, I think. Let's move on to the Little Women trailer. In episode 21, we talked about the first photos from Greta Gerwig's adaptation of Little Women with Saoirse Ronan as Jo and Timothee Chalamet as Laurie. And we talked about the fact that you didn't like the 1994 version with Winona Ryder in it.
Hated it.
And I didn't care about it. I was like, whatever. It's not really my thing. I enjoyed it, but I don't really have strong feelings about it either way.
Yeah, you're not the kind of person who likes a costume drama. See, that's like porn to me. It really is.
I will watch them, but I don't love them.
For me, it's very important. A Jane Austen adaptation, the latest adaptation of Little Women, that kind of thing. I love it. I have to see it. So I really want this Little Women to be good, but the trailer did not make it look good. I'm very upset with that. And I was trying to choose my words so carefully in that post. Greta Gerwig, she had a hand in adapting the book to the screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
I think she modernized it, the language way too much. And I think she modernized the themes too much.
Yeah.
I know this is getting way into the weeds, but all right, the character of Amy. So Amy is a total fucking brat. I did not major in English literature, but anyway, in my opinion, she's the villain of the book. And they treat her like she's the second heroine alongside Jo. And I do not agree with that at all. Anyway.
So they're taking major liberties with the story and making it more modern. Maybe she just wanted to appeal to younger watchers and she was told to do that by the studio or whatever.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's already a very progressive modern story. And I know I feel very passionately about this, but I do. My very first viewing of the trailer, I thought she's made this for tweens who have not read the book.
Yeah. Maybe she has. That's the big audience for her, and she knows the rest of us will go see it regardless.
I guess, but I do think that Saoirse looks good as Jo, and Timothée Chalamet looks like he's killing it as Laurie.
Well, you love him.
I do love him. Does he look absolutely perfect for Laurie? No, but he can act. I think he can do that role, and I think the chemistry between him and Saoirse will be very good and very palpable.
Cool.
But if you're looking for a good version of the movie that stays very true to the book, I would suggest the version with what's her face? Well, Elizabeth Taylor as Amy. That one was very good.
Ooh, I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's good.
Okay, so here's a part of the trailer that Chandra didn't like.
Okay.
I have loved you ever since I've known you, Jo. I couldn't help it.
It would be a disaster if we married.
It wouldn't be a disaster.
We'd be miserable.
Jo, I'd be a perfect saint.
I can't.
A new play written by Miss Jo Marsh.
Women, they have minds and they have souls, as well as just hearts.
I want to be great or nothing.
And they've got ambition and they've got talent, as well as just beauty. And I'm so sick of people saying that love is just all a woman is fit for. I'm so sick of it.
It had this kind of inspirational feel that so many movies do now that they make them seem like commercials.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So a one-off story this week, which was just kind of funny and gross, was that Leonardo DiCaprio and Sean Penn were on a yacht in Ibiza and they were photographed by the paparazzi. They're both in their swim trunks looking all paunchy and old, and their girlfriends are half their age or less.
Yep.
Leonardo was 44 and he's had that girlfriend, Camilla
Maroney, I think. And she's 22. And then Layla George, who is Vincent D'Onofrio's daughter, is 27. And she's with Sean Penn, who is 58 and freaking looks it. He is nasty. And
he looks like a mean alcoholic, bloated piece of shit.
I just put that photo up on Twitter just for laughs. I didn't think that anyone would really respond to it.
Oh, I got a lot.
Yeah, everyone was like, ew, my eyes, stop it. Everyone had an opinion about Sean Penn's big paunch and his ham face at sea. Oh.
And it's weird because the rest of him is kind of fit, but he's got that big old gut, and he's older than I would date. I am 46. I would not date a 58-year-old dude. The pictures of him, they're not paying attention to their girlfriends at all.
I was looking through all of the photos. Obviously, we didn't post all the photos that we have. Sean Penn just seemed very disinterested and sulky. Layla was trying to get him to go in the water with her, or she was trying to talk to him. And he was just literally sitting there sulking about something. That's how it looked to me. But Leonardo was actually physically recoiling from Camilla's touch. She was trying to hold his hand just on the yacht, as she was passing by, hold his hand or touch his chest, and he was wincing. Oh my God.
He was looking on his phone, trying to actively ignore her too. I'll look through more of the photos. Maybe I'll put a couple more in there. Those guys, whatever.
They're terrible.
Yeah. So the big story this week was that Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth split, and they announced it over the weekend, and it sounded like they were going to stay above board about it, and that quickly turned into a total mess. There are so many stories now, I don't even care. It got to the point where they're just releasing all these updates, trashing each other, and we're like, whatever, nobody gives a shit about them, you know?
It was ridiculous because, all right, Miley started releasing all of these photos from her vacation, but she didn't post any with Kaitlynn Carter, who is her new girlfriend.
All right.
As Miley was posting all these photos looking like she was on a single girl vacation, that's when her rep went to People magazine and announced the split. And then right after that, like within 24 hours, there were photos of Miley kissing Kaitlynn, and there were photos of Miley and Kaitlynn together on Kaitlynn's Instagram. But they were like so obviously together.
They were making a show for the paparazzi. The kissing photos were like candids. And then the photos of them together were just of them posing. There's a bunch of different theories about this. It's totally possible that they both broke up with their husbands, although Kaitlynn was just fake married. She wasn't really married to Brody Jenner. They just had whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
But it's possible they both broke up around the same time and they're like, oh, let's make our exes jealous. Haha. We'll post these pictures, and then it blew up. It's also possible they were having an affair. But again, I don't really care about these people. And the more they make me try to care, the less I do. Like, I don't really give a shit. Miley was talking about how she wanted some girl bacon or whatever. I don't give a shit about Miley. She's...
Oh, I mean, Miley is terrible. And I think that's why I'm more interested in the process of how Miley is trying to like defend her actions. And she's being so immature. She's running to People magazine and like saying, no, you guys, it was totally justified because Liam is moody.
She said Liam was moody, and then there was another update later. Like, it escalated where he's like, she cheated, and she's like, no, he's drinking and doing drugs. And whatever, get over yourselves. You're not that famous. Like,
a lot of people brought this up in like the first couple of posts as the scandal and controversy was heating up. They're like, if the message had been from the beginning, like, you know, guys, we've been together for so many years, on and off. We were so young when we got married. We grew apart. It happens. Everyone would have believed that. Everyone would have like said, oh, that makes absolute and total sense. But no, we have to, you know, get cheating accusations and photos of...
Well, I think Liam would have just let everything be if Miley hadn't made out with Kaitlynn for the paparazzi and posted all those photos with her and tried to act like she had the upper hand. Like, just go silent for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's totally not Miley's style. She's such a attention whore. So.
Yeah, drama queen.
Let's move on to the user questions and feedback.
Fine with me.
There's only so much I could talk about Miley Cyrus. Who cares? So Agorific wrote on Instagram about our last podcast. I've been a reader since 2009. I'm very proud of you ladies and the way the website has evolved. And I applaud your coverage of white supremacy and fucking patriarchy. So thanks. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
And Simcoe on Twitter agrees with me on white chocolate, candy corn, and emigrating to Canada.
Yeah.
She's my new friend on Twitter. You want to do Blue Sky's question? We can skip it if you want and just move on.
No, we can do it. Blue Sky asked, how soon do you all start writing up stories for the next day? I've gotten pretty intense about that. Personally, I pre-write a lot of stories, especially magazine interviews and anything like that can be held kind of indefinitely in case we need a filler story, anything like that. Yeah, on average, we have like a bunch of stories that can go up anytime in case it's slow, that kind of stuff. And then you and I are writing the morning that we're publishing. You know, we're writing stories and all that kind of stuff. You know, we're generally around all day, most afternoons and evenings. So in case there's breaking news, we can cover that too.
I mean, we're on the East Coast. We really like waking up early and getting done by noon, and then we'll work at night and the next day do it all over again. And very rarely do we have to work in the afternoon our time, which is how we prefer it. But so we kind of have those two categories of stories, which are the breaking news and the daily news, and the interviews, which are not time sensitive.
Yeah, basically.
All right. Let's move on to the comments of the week. So I picked two, and I was trying to look earlier in the week. And Mia4S said on the post about Gwyneth Paltrow not knowing that Samuel L. Jackson was in the Marvel movies, she said, now to be fair, acting in these silly little billion-dollar peasant movies has gotten in the way of selling vagina crystals. Her mind can only hold so much, and the vagina crystals are very complicated.
It's very true. I mean, how many people from the Marvel Comics universe has Gwyneth just absolutely blanked on?
Sebastian Stan was the other one. I bet there's a lot of other people she's worked with or known, especially like crew and people who have worked with her on multiple movies where she like totally just doesn't know who they are.
You know who I bet she absolutely like chooses to forget every time is Elizabeth Olsen. I bet every time she sees Elizabeth Olsen, she introduces herself.
Well, their characters don't interact in the Marvel movies really, but yeah, I bet you.
You had another?
I did. I just picked another one because I like to dominate. So a commenter named Some Chick, that's her actual username, said on the post about Prince Andrew leaving Balmoral, at least he didn't do anything really shocking, like asked to change seats at a dinner party.
That's true.
Yeah.
My comment of the week was about the Leo DiCaprio and Sean Penn with their very young girlfriends. And this is what commenter Sean said. I'm only 33 and I couldn't even imagine dating a 22 or 23-year-old. You're from completely different generations, and despite legally being an adult, most young 20-somethings are still children mentally and emotionally. What would they even talk about? Oh, wait, it's not about having an equal partnership for these guys. Never mind. It's very true.
That's totally true. Yeah.
I feel like we are really seeing that with Leo and his relationships now. He's gotten to the age where he literally has nothing to say to these little 21-year-old girls that he's dating. And all of the photos from his vacation with Camilla are like her taking photos of him looking at the photos of him, that kind of thing. It's just like, what do you do with this kid that you're like half dating and half babysitting?
What's that line from Dazed and Confused that Matthew McConaughey's character said? That's what I like about high school girls because I keep getting older and they stay the same age or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
And I didn't think Sean Penn was that way, but he is getting that way in his old age.
Yeah, I mean, like, Sean Penn will date someone over 30, but he doesn't like to. He doesn't want to.
He doesn't want somebody with their own mind.
You know Vincent D'Onofrio is pissed as hell. Anyway.
I want him to do something to Sean Penn or to tell his daughter that she's cut off. She's still at an age where she could get cut off, right?
I don't know. All right.
Oh, thanks for listening, bitches.
Thanks, bitches.
We went through that so fast this week.
But it's good to do some short ones, though.
Thanks for listening to the Celebrity Podcast. We're now on iHeartRadio. If you like us, tell a friend. And if you subscribe, review, and rate us wherever you listen, it helps us out. We need more voice messages to play on the show, and you can leave us one at 434-218-3219. Our music is from Premium Beat, AA Alto, and Maiden. Thanks again.